What should you avoid while you're taking prednisone for only 5 or 6 days? That was a question I recently got in the comments section of my most popular video ever, the 7 or more things you should avoid while taking prednisone. And that video is definitely targeted at people taking prednisone long term. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about those same principles, but short term, what really matters. So, I'm going to go through the 7 or more things to avoid while taking prednisone and just talk about which of these are actually relevant to you. So, and the reason I chose the word 7 is because 7 starts with the letter S, and all of these things start with the letter S. And I actually have 11 in that original video, and they all start with the letter S. So it should be easier to remember that way, but not all of those are applicable for short term. So let's first talk about smoking. Smoking is something you should avoid for many reasons, not just because you're taking prednisone. You're less likely to need prednisone in the future if you quit smoking. So I definitely advocate for quitting smoking for any reason. If this is the reason, go for it. But is it going to make or break it for you while taking prednisone for 5 or 6 days? Not necessarily. Second, a shot of alcohol. I would normally not give this a big deal, aside from the horror story that I was told by a young man who took a similar thing to prednisone called methylprednisolone or a Medrol dose pack. He took just 6 days worth. He actually didn't even finish it. And then he went binge drinking that weekend instead of taking his last pills. And then he went into adrenal crisis. He felt horrible, was non-functional, couldn't go to work, couldn't get off the couch. It was terrible. And he said, please tell the story to everyone. So if it weren't for that story, I'd be like, if you have to drink, drink. But his story was so potent, I cannot forget it. So, take it with a grain of salt or on the rocks or something. All right. 3 is stimulants or caffeine. In general, this I would not say is like absolute black and white. Minimizing your exposure to caffeine and other things that can stimulate you makes sense while taking prednisone, because prednisone is going to ramp up all of these systems. So you want to give your body a chance to kind of just chill out while you're taking this medication. Like, eat and drink as healthfully as possible while on prednisone to give yourself the best chance of recovery. The reason you're taking the medication, let it succeed in that, right? Minimizing exposure to these things makes sense. Number 4 is shots. So this is a specific kind of shots, live vaccines, like the nasal spray of the flu shot, not the injection of the flu shot. And then I go through a whole bunch more in that longer video. But basically, the CDC has said that you are substantially immunosuppressed if you've taken 20 milligrams or more for 2 weeks, or the equivalent in a shorter amount of time. So 20 times 14. If you take 280 milligrams or more in 14 days or less, then the CDC considers you to be substantially immunosuppressed. And in that case, you should not get a live flu vaccine or any other live vaccine for at least a month after your last dose. So yes, you should avoid these at that time. But if it's the only time you can get it, then get it. Like, you're not, and especially if you're less than 280 milligrams total, you should be fine. Like, it may not work as well, but it's probably going to be okay. Number 5 is NSAIDs, like ibuprofen. And this drug interaction can work fairly quickly, especially if you're taking high doses. So avoiding ibuprofen, naproxen, meloxicam, any of those medications with prednisone makes a lot of sense. We do not want any GI bleeds. Avoiding sugar is number 6. And number 7 is salt. These, again, are not make or break things, not black and white, but avoiding them will give you the best chance of recovery from whatever you're taking the prednisone for. Number 8 is stress. Again, minimizing stress, like, take a break, take work off, whatever you need to do to recover. It's only 5 or 6 days, so de-stress as much as you can. Number 9 is sports. And here I'm talking about extreme sports like marathons, triathlons. Avoiding those makes a lot of sense because what prednisone can do to tendons, ligaments, and these are actually banned substances in competitive athletics because of what they can do to improving your performance ability, artificially destroying your body at the same time. So I would not do that. I would not do a triathlon in the next 5 or 6 days if I were you. Just avoid it in general. Let this medication work. All right. Number 10, avoid sick people. I think this makes perfect sense for these 5 or 6 days. Do not go into places where you know people are sick. Wear a mask if you need to, whatever it takes, because you have immunosuppression. And that can happen even with one dose. They studied people who had taken just short term prednisone, less than 30 days of any steroid, whether it's prednisone or Medrol dose pack. And they were at higher risk for pneumonia and other immune system complications because of what prednisone is doing to the immune system. So definitely avoid sick people. And then finally, avoid certain supplements, number 11. And this isn't necessarily as applicable on short term, but if you do need a supplement to support you in the recovery period, to support that immune system in the recovery time, to support your metabolism so you don't have the prednisone weight gain, you can avoid the moon phase and all of those things, then I have the exact supplement you need to support your recovery from this 5 to 6 day dose of prednisone. And it's called Neutronized Zone. It's got everything that you need to reduce your suffering by replenishing your nutrients so that you can recover from taking prednisone. You can get it at neutronized.com or on Amazon. Signing off as Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.